She told you to go and what? Stick a living bird's head into your mouth and suck it like a lollipop? You'd be surprised how often that happens. Lockdown is not a curse word. Neither is Brexit. Recycling? Penis head? No, not that one. No, that one is a curse too. That man has a penis. Not a suckable type of item. Children are fine. They hate genitals. Perfectly safe to mention at a dinner party. Fellow alien infiltrators, welcome to Earth. Working undercover as humans is hard. Sometimes the most sensible things you can do can get you compromised. In this series, I will be explaining how you can infiltrate human society seamlessly and effectively. I'm Michael Sander, and this is Aliens About Humans, where we try to look at human life through the lens of an alien. If you like what we're doing here, hit the like button and make sure to subscribe to this channel. Also, there's this bell next to the subscribe button. It really enjoys being clicked, so please do it a favor. And as always, please share your thoughts in the comments. Today's topic is familiar to most of you. Everyday stuff. You abduct a human, you take them to a lab and start probing. Most humans find this experience very unpleasant. But instead of using their verbal skills to convey their approximate level of discomfort and propose a more convenient method of approach, humans usually revert to making contradictory and inaccurate statements about your origin, anatomy, and intellectual abilities. This is called cursing, and although this skill doesn't present any tangible benefits, you will blend in a lot better among humans if you do it right. Zorn and I had a good talk about this the other day. General Zorn, to what do I owe the honor? She said, you are what? Strange, those mammals do not live in holes. Are you sure she didn't say foxhole or rabbit hole? No, you're right. That wouldn't make much sense either. You're obviously neither of those things. Could it be that she was asking you to go to that hole, not saying that you are a hole? That would have made a lot more sense. Oh, she asked you to go to another place. Which one? Hell. The imaginary underground torture facility. That is a very inconvenient place to ask somebody to go to. Well, firstly, it doesn't exist. Secondly, even if it did exist, it wouldn't have been a place you would want to visit willingly. Did you ask her why she wanted you to go there? What did she say? She told you to go and what? Yourself? Not someone else? But that's not possible. You'd need two sets of reproductive organs positioned in very inconvenient places. That's just not how human anatomy works. Yes, even if you're non-binary. Could you have misheard? Could she have said, go tuck yourself in or something? Maybe you look tired. No, in the middle of the day that would be unlikely. So she wanted you to do that in hell of all places. That's one kinky human you've got there. Wait, what bird did she say that you were in the habit of sucking? Was it a hen or something? Well, there we have a clue. Humans never suck on that bird. When they suggest that you do, they actually mean that you suck on a human genital. I know, right? What could you possibly suck out of a thing like that? Wait, was she by any chance upset? Why would you engage in a conversation with somebody you've abducted? They never say anything even remotely constructive. You were hoping she might want to do it again. That doesn't happen very often. See, humans tend to see probing as more of a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Well, that explains everything then. She was simply cursing. You know, cursing, swearing, it means using curse words. No, not crosswords, curse words. It's a kind of a word that offends humans. I know there are a lot of things that offend humans, but I'm sure you know there are some specific words that evoke negative emotions and provoke conflict. No, lockdown is not a curse word. No, neither is Brexit, although the effects may be similar. Recycling? In a way, but no. See, curse words almost always describe defecation, mating, or genitals. Like the words that woman used on you. Yes, it is a bird, but obviously she didn't mean it as a bird, did she? How do I know? Well, have you ever seen a human go around sucking birds? Like, how are you even supposed to suck them? Which part? Like the head, the feet? Would you stick a living bird's head into your mouth and suck it like a lollipop? Nobody does that. Even if it was dead, it's just not a suckable type of item. So yes, I'm pretty sure she meant a penis. Well, you'd be surprised how often that happens. That's the point, you see. She doesn't actually believe you're in the habit of sucking them. She just said it to offend you. Yes, it is just inaccurate information, but humans usually get offended by being attributed such a habit. Yes, they do it a lot, and yet they don't like to be confused with a person who does it a lot. As a rule of thumb, you should never use such words around humans. You can use them around cocks and hens if you like, or around humans as long as you are talking about a bird. Like if you happen happen to be in the possession of a large male chicken, you may say that you have a big cock and nobody will take offense. You may even offer humans to suck on it if you will, as long as you make sure they know that you are talking about a bird. They will probably politely refuse, but that's a lot less destructive than cursing. If you say the same thing and are not in the possession of a male chicken, then it's cursing. Yes, it's the same word, but it becomes cursing as soon as it's about genitals. But there are many words for genitals, so just try to use another one. No, not that one. No, that one is a curse too. Damn, Zorn, you've listened to a lot of hip-hop music, haven't you? Look, why don't you stick to penis? Plain and simple, nobody gets offended. Penis head? No, that's still offensive. I mean, it's safe to use on its own. Like you can say, that man has a penis. Not very informative perhaps, but at least it's harmless. However, if you say that man is a penis, then you're cursing. No, not just because he's into penis. You can't technically be one and have one at the same time. But the inaccuracy isn't offensive in itself. If you say, that man is a table, it may be met with some suspicion, but it will not be offensive, because nobody hates tables. But humans really dislike being associated with genitals. Yes, they all have them, but they despise them. Haven't you noticed how they hide them all the time? Try sending an image of genitals to a human female, she will never speak to you again. They hate genitals. They also hate using them. Have you noticed they never mate in public? That's because they're ashamed of mating, just like they're ashamed of defecating. Yes, the two main purposes of human existence, production of organic matter and production of other humans, are the two things that they least want to be associated with. So words that describe products of human existence, the organs through which these products pass, and the process of production are all words you should avoid. No, children are fine. The organs through which they pass are not, the process of making them is not, but the children themselves are perfectly safe to mention at a dinner party, except if their father is unknown, then it's a curse word too. The same goes for excrement and defecation. If someone tells you that something is excrement or a hole that excrement comes from, or that you are a piece of excrement or a hole, that's just cursing and nothing you should analyze any further. So if some human female who is ungrateful enough not to appreciate your unsolicited probing calls you something that sounds like a mating anus or an excrement fragment and commands you to go and perform sexual intercourse with yourself, you don't actually have to do that. But if that happens, it's actually good news, because once a human has used those words in a conversation with you, then you can use them too. So it's a pretty good icebreaker, I guess. Okay, so let's sum up what we know about cursing. It means the same thing as swearing and is a human form of emotional discrimination of words. Some words evoke negative emotions and enrage humans. These are called curse words, and somehow they almost exclusively relate to the two main purposes of human existence: procreation and production of excrement. Humans hate being associated with genitals, mating, and defecation. They all do it, but they all act as if they don't. It can be quite hard to tell what is a curse word and what is not, so here are some key points to remember. If someone suggests that you may be in the habit of sucking birds, that's cursing. If a human inaccurately describes you as an item most humans prefer not to be, that is probably also cursing. If someone suggests that your mother is a dog, that's probably cursing. If a human urges you to perform various sexual acts without themselves being involved, they are most likely cursing you. Offering you the opportunity to insert ill-fitting objects or intangible notions into your rectum is definitely cursing. Children are not a curse as long as both of their parents are known, and you don't need to go any place you don't want only because a human commands you to. Just use this as an icebreaker to get some good probing done. Did I miss something? Tell me in the comments. Just don't use any curse words or your comments may be blocked by human-made software. If you like this video, please share it with your alien friends. Take it easy on the cursing now, and whatever you do, don't panic.